This is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project on another great day, and I'm going to again explain why my house is tarped, why I need to protect it, and why I can't work in the rain. I know that framers work in the rain. I know a lot of people work in the rain. I used to do masonry and framing many years ago, and I was an assistant, so please don't even think I would call myself an expert. But I used to do a lot of work in the rain, and it never bothered me. But if you remember, when I built this, I basically sealed off the flooring absolutely tight. It's airtight, watertight, so if it rains and hits my flooring and goes down inside, I have a bathtub. Benefit is I could take a bath. Bad thing is I would no longer have a house. I would have a mess. I'd have to somehow pump it out, drain it all, take out the insulation, disinfect and sterilize the floorboards, and put it all back together. That would not be fun. So if there's any hint of rain, I keep this covered so that the flooring doesn't fill up with water. So I hope that explains things well enough, because I keep getting this question a lot. There's a, let me see here. I have somebody watching me. These guys are not at all afraid of me. It's the best shot I've ever got. They're really cute, little monsters. Destructive little things, because they like to move into my home and move into my boxes and my packing materials, and they think they rule the place and they rule everything, but not true. It's mine. Anyway, he's just waiting for me to put the walls up so he can move in. So right now there's a little bit of sun shining, as you can see, but there is threat of rain. So on a couple days now and then I've started to uncover this, and it's quite a process alone to roll back the tarp all the way, and then it starts to rain and I really quickly roll it all back up and strap on the straps and put things on top so the wind doesn't blow it off, because it will fill up with water. I am developing a not exactly usual and normal house. It's a tiny house, so that means it's a trailer. That means occasionally it will go down the road, and that means it has to be watertight from below, which means that's why I put the flashing on and sealed it off from below. But that also means that it will be a bathtub if it rains. So I hope that explains that. Now, why am I playing around with pallet wood and gathering pallets for free when I should be building my tiny house? Why am I not building my tiny house? Why am I not making this top priority? The reason is 2 points. I have somebody, a professional framer, coming over in about 2 weeks' time, who's going to help me put up the walls. I decided that I don't have the experience, in putting up the walls square is extremely valuable and important. And if I did it myself, it would probably take me 2 weeks to get one wall up. Not because I'm lazy or slow, but because I would have to figure out everything as I go and check and recheck and re-recheck. So I'm going to have a professional framer come over. Therefore, I've got 2 weeks time before I am putting the walls up. The other reason is I don't have the lumber. If you guys remember, I took on the lumberyard project. Oh, wait. Pause 1 second. I'm going to annoy someone greatly. Look at that crooked table. Now this is just a joke. This is some humor. If you want to know why, read the comments. I guarantee you'll see it. Crooked table. Alright. Anyway, I took on the lumberyard job to get free lumber to build my tiny house with. I just finished the work. Now I'm going to get my payment this week for my work. So that, you know, I didn't have the wood, and I still don't have the wood, so I am just finishing the job. I'll show you later on what I'm up to, what I was doing today. Right now it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'll show you what I was up to all day so far. Still finishing the job at the lumberyard. Sort of. I did all the horrible work and the hard part, and now I'm into the fun stuff. So I'll take you over and show that in a little bit. So I hope that clears things up and answers all your questions, because I've seen this question repeated a lot. Actually, these few questions repeated quite a few times. So I'll just keep updating that and repeating it a couple times from time to time, because I keep seeing the same questions arise. And this is an interactive channel, and thank you all for being there. On the way home from town the other night, I saw this stuff sitting on the side of the road, and I saw these windows and I wanted them. I'm not worried about this. This is a door frame, actually. There's two pieces, which is actually the frame of the door, and I got the door. But I wanted these windows. I like lead. I like soldered lead windows, and I was looking around at garage sales and online, and used, they're horribly expensive. And I would prefer stained glass, but I love the look of the soldered lead, the soldered windows. I just love it. And when I saw these on the side of the road, I wanted them. I stopped and I wanted them. And so when I got home, I immediately jumped in the truck. And it was like, I think 10 o'clock at night. And then I was heading out at that hour to go get these. That's how badly I wanted these. So I went and picked up these two panels, which, by the way, I'm not using the whole panel. I'm just using the glass. Okay? So I've got two of these. And then I got this door. Now, this is painted on one side, but it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter. This door is too wide for my liking, for my use, but it is, the windows are what I want. Now, there's three panes on the door, but what I noticed, which is fine, is one piece of glass has a crack. Okay, I don't think that's going to show up on the camera. But anyway, there's a crack right here in this piece of glass, which is fine, because this piece of glass is missing a little metal button in the middle, and one of those pieces over there that I just showed you is missing a little metal button. So that means I can take the buttons off this one and put them on there, and I'll have myself 4 panes of this soldered glass, which I really love the look of it. So I'm going to integrate that into my house somewhere with something I had wanted, and I got them for free, so that's perfect. So I'll get these out of this door somehow. I'll pry them out, and I'm going to integrate them into my house. Now, sitting there at the same place were these two windows. Now these are about 4 foot by 2.5 foot, and they're just the frames, or just the windows. The frames are missing. But that's fine, because I got thinking, these are double insulated windows, double pane windows, and I want double pane windows, but the problem is the cost is outrageous, and I keep finding windows with no frames. So I decided I am just going to make my own frames. Well, they're actually, this is already framed. All I have to do is figure a way to work the hinges on this thing and build it into my house. Done. So there they are. These are probably going to be integrated into my house, because that's going to save me a lot of money. The windows I was looking at, the original windows and doors I was looking at for my tiny house, were going to run me $1,000 total. Well, I got the door already, so that's $300 less. So then I was looking at $700 for windows, and that's just like crazy. I can't afford that. So I got these for free. And from now on, if I find windows without frames for free, as long as they're double pane like this, the sealed double pane windows, I'm just going to grab them and figure a way to integrate them into my house, because it's just going to be easier. They've got part of the hinge mechanism. I'm going to study online how that works, and I'm gonna make my own. Done. Just too simple. I'll strip these down and take off all the metal and stuff and strip these down, and I want to have a natural look, so I'll probably give them a light sanding and then either a stain or a waterproof coating. But I'm going to keep that natural and keep those windows in their frames, so there's less work. And what I'll do is I'll frame in the walls, put weather stripping in it, put a latching and hinging mechanism, and be done with it. Perfect. So there's my free windows for my tiny home. Probably one would be perfect upstairs over the loft, and one would be nice downstairs. So I'll see how that works. And then these guys are, I think if I remember right, going to fit on the 24 on center framing, but I have to measure it to be sure. So I may end up using these as well. So we'll see how it all works out when I get back into the paper, onto the drawing board. So just wanted to show you that. Some more free stuff for the off-grid project and the tiny home. I know people are going to call me a hoarder, but tiny house builders got to be hoarders. You got to get your free stuff, unless you've got $40,000 to build with. Now I'm going to take you into the forest a little bit, and I'm going to show you something. I have decided to keep my meadow clean. And by the way, I don't know if I ever mentioned this. These walls right here, I was just talking to a friend about this. I learned what all this was. If you see these, I hope you can see it. There's a raised spot here that used to be a rock wall. There's a depression and sort of a flat spot, and then there's a raised rock wall here that goes all the way back into the forest where there's that big square area of rock walls. This in the 1700s used to be cow pasture area. None of these trees existed here. This tree is dead center in where they were herding the cattle up into the wagons right here. This was actually a cow herding area, and that's where they herded the cattle through. And that square area, what I thought was an Indian meeting place, was a cow pasture. And all the rock walls all through the forest, that was cow pastures from the 1700s. A little bit of history there, which I think is really cool. Now I'm in the no-tick zone. This is a tick-free zone because the woods are so dense that nothing grows on the ground, which is good. Ah, yuck. Something just went in my ear. I don't know why the bug is, every day something goes in my ear. It's really weird. So this is a absolutely tick-free zone, which I like. There's firewood waiting to be chopped up. That fell recently. Over here is another sort of a flat area, which is great. And there are old logging trails all through the forest. I think you should be able to see here. I can never tell what the camera shows or what it doesn't. But I think you can see, yeah, you can see that logging trail right there. An old ancient path right here where it's sort of hollowed out. And I've got here my truck. I've got some wooden pallets. I went and got 2 loads of wooden pallets today from the lumber yard. Now, another thing, I'm going to answer another question because it's easier to just answer in video than repeating on comments. Why do I want all this free pallet wood? Because I'm going to build my kitchen with it. I think I mentioned in a previous video that a kitchen is ranging from $1,000 to $6,000 at Lowe's. That's a lot of money. I don't have it. There is my kitchen, right there. That is my kitchen cabinetry. I am going to clean this wood up, and I'm going to make it myself. It would take me a long time to earn $6,000, so I can afford the labor in making my kitchen. Labor is cheaper than $6,000 in this case. So I also have another project going on that I'm going to show you in a little bit here. But there is a little pile of wood, and here's some very fine pallet wood. That's going to be some awesome kitchen cabinet doors right there. Really nice pieces. So I think I'm going to take like a big piece. That's actually 2 doors. If I cut that in half, that's 2 doors. The height of it. And I'll take a big piece, a narrow piece, and another big piece. And I think I'll make a beautiful door. So I'll clean that wood up, and actually I'm thinking right here I probably have enough to do my whole kitchen right there. All the doors right there with a couple of these pallets. And I'm going to look for the thinnest of the wood for my kitchen cabinet doors, because I want to have it lightweight. And this is thin enough. It's also not as heavy. The wood isn't as heavy. So I'm thinking this might not be, well, it's definitely not oak. I'm not sure what it is. It feels like harder wood, but it's not oak. It's not as heavy. So I don't know what other options they have for wood. Some people might recognize it by looking at it here. I am not a wood expert. I need to learn that stuff, but I find it hard for me to pick up. But anyway, this will be the cabinet doors right there. And I'm going to make something special, which I'll show you in a little while here, out of the rest of these. And I'm going to make all my own furniture, countertops, tables, chairs. I have learned how to make kitchen chairs out of pallets, which is really neat. So I'll be doing that too. This is a good rainy day project when I can't work on the tiny home, and days when I don't have the money or the materials to work on the tiny home, I've got this. So that's exciting. Now I'm going to have to show this because you guys are going to see it eventually, and people are going to ask. There's a boat. I went and got that yesterday. I didn't know if I wanted to show you or not because somebody's going to yell at me and say, "Why are you a hoarder?" But I got a boat. Free. I don't care about the boat. The boat is going to be cut up and it's going to be taken to the scrapyard. The metal, there's a Volvo gas engine, which is a lot of good money, and the outboard is all aluminum. There's aluminum trim, stainless steel trim. That's a winter project. I'm going to gut that out, take it in for scrap metal, and have about $100 or so in my hand. I don't care about the boat. I got a trailer. The boat trailer, as soon as I get this, I tried to back this up and the outboard fell on the ground and jammed in, so I left it yesterday. The trailer I'm going to sell because they are incredibly expensive here. Boat trailers are hard to come by and very expensive. I am just going to get the boat off this thing, take it up, put it up for sale, and have some money for my tiny home. I am doing whatever I can right now to get extra money to build my house. That is one of the things. So I figured you might end up seeing it in the video, so better explain it before people start asking. All about trying to earn money or barter or trade and build my tiny house. Anybody that looks at tiny home videos and see about the budget tiny homes see that people do barter and trade and use pallet wood or free recycled materials to build their house with. And yeah, I could save a couple years and probably build a $30,000-$40,000 house. Well, about 20 years. But anyway, I prefer to do it myself and make videos while I do it. That's fun. Well, as many of you have seen, I have been playing around with some pallet wood, and let me zoom out just a tiny bit here. I was outside planing and experimenting with my new tools today. It looked like rain on and off, and we've been getting rain a lot, so I hauled my lumber from the I hauled the pallets from the lumber yard, and I cut. Well, I planed a piece of, this is a piece of pallet wood, and I planed it, and then I sanded it, a long strip, and then I cut it into a 3-inch square, and I'm about to show you something really cool and neat, what I've been doing, and I'd like to know what you think, and if there's interest in this. I have made a coffee coaster, the Off-Grid Project. This is a logo I made a while back, long ago. Very few people have ever seen this logo for the Off-Grid Project. And today, I made it a reality. I made my first ever coffee coaster for the Off-Grid Project. This is handmade, off the grid, using solar power and a wood burner that's plugged into my solar powered RV. So this is truly green, recycled pallet wood in an off-grid, made in an off-grid environment and burnt in on solar power. I think it's really cool. Can't get any greener than that. So there is the official Off-Grid Project, the first ever Off-Grid Project souvenirs. let me know if there's any interest in this type of a thing, recycled pallet wood. And I'm going to experiment with different natural stains, for example, beetroot and blueberry juice and grape juice to stain the woods, and then I will seal them with a clear coat and put them up on the Do-It-Yourself World's store. So please let me know, people, if there's any interest in this. If anybody would like to have the Off-Grid Project green recycled pallet wood and handmade coasters. If there is enough interest, I will get a brand, just like they do in Texas with the cows. You can get a brand for your wood. And if there's enough interest generated in this, I will get an official brand to do this instead of doing it with a wood burner each time by hand, which is very, very slow and tedious. But I wanted to do this and see what you thought. So, let me know.